Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, in this session I am taking some of the doubts sent by the students, and I would recommend you to take this doubt solving session only after your this basic preparations, right? So you can solve the problems right with me, okay? And can judge what is your present status and level of preparations. So let's begin this one. Now let's see this question. And you have to try the question on your own. You just have to match your answer and solution with mine, right? The average marks of 12 students were calculated as 40, but it was later found that marks of one student had been entered wrongly as 42 instead of 54 and that of another as 74 instead of 50. Now friends, we don't have to take the total. What we can do, whatever the difference is there, we add and deduct that, and then to find out the average, we'll be dividing that by the total number of students. Okay, so initially had been entered wrongly as 42 instead of 54. So that's we add 12, right? So the overall total is increased by 12, right? And another as 74 instead of 50. Now that is a difference of 24. Getting my point? So that is the loss of 24 because the marks have been entered 74 and the actual marks were 50, right? So in all, in the total, there is a loss of 24. So precisely there is a loss of 12 in the total, right? And 12 students are there. So average, there is a loss of 1. So initially the average was 40. Now it will be 39. Okay, getting my point? I hope you are getting me. I just go once again. See, instead of see this, initially it is 12 into 40, the total marks, and in the total we are adding this number, deducting this, then deducting this and adding this, right? So precisely what we are doing, 42 instead of 54 has been written. That means in total 12 is being lost, and here 74 is written in the place of 50. That means 24 extra we have written, right? So whatever is the loss we have compensated over here, and whatever the gain, that means extra, we have deducted over there, right? So in all there is loss of minus 12. That means in all plus 12 and minus 24, minus 12 is there in the total. So if I find out the average, to find out the average I have to divide this loss by 12. So in all 1 is lost in average. So initially the average was 40, now it will be 39. Okay. Now friends, let's see this problem. The average salary of workers in an industry is rupees 2000. The average salary of 150 technicians being 4000 and non-technician is 1250. So this is 4000. This is 1250. These are technician, these are non-technician, and overall it is 2000, right? So by the way of allocation we can easily do it. So this is 2000 and this is what? 750, right? Now what is telling, the average salary of 150 technicians. That means this 75 is actually 150. That means double of this. That means this must be 400. That means double of this. So in all 400 plus 150, 550 workers will be there. Okay. So by the method of alligation, this problem can be solved very easily. Your answer is 550. Okay. Now let's see this question. The average age of husband and wife who were married 7 years ago was 25 years then. The average age of the family, including the husband, wife and the child born during the interval, is 22 years now. How old is the child now? Now that's a pretty simple problem, friends. At the time of their marriage, the total age was 50 years, 25 into 2. Now after 7 years, both of them are getting older by 7 years. So in total, there will be addition of 14 years. So that's 50 plus 14. That's 64. But as of now, the total age is 66, because 22 into 3, husband plus wife plus child. So as of now, the total age is 66, and the total age of husband and wife is 64. That means the child must be of 2 years. right? So no paperwork, nothing is required. You can solve this problem in mere 30 seconds. Okay. Now let's take this problem. A water tank contains 5% salt by weight. X liters of fresh water is added to 40 liters of tank water so that the solution contains 2% salt. What is the value of X? Now again, very simple problem, can be done easily by alligation method. Now in the tank water, what is the this concentration of salt? That is 5%. This is tank water. Now we are adding fresh water. In the fresh water, the concentration of salt is 0%, right? And since we are adding fresh water, there is no salt in that water, that we are assuming. And if we are mixing these two, in the final solution, the salt is 2%, right? So by the method of alligation, this can be solved very easily. 5 minus 2, 3, 0, and 2 minus 0, it's 2. Now we are given the quantity of tank water, that is 40 liter. That means this 2 is actually 40 liter. Now if 2 is 40, 3 must be 60, right? So fresh water is actually 60 liters that we are going to add, and fresh water is X liter, that means X is 60. So by the method of alligation, this problem can be solved very easily, instantly, right, in no time. I hope you are clear, and I would suggest you to have a good grip of on alligation method, so you can solve the problems in like a very less amount of time. Okay. Now let's say this question. The problem is this based on ages. 2 years ago, Vinod was 4 times as old as Indu. Okay. 8 years hence, Vinod's age will exceed Indu's age by 12 years. The ratio of the present ages of Vinod and Indu. So this Vinod, Indu, right? 2 years ago, the ratio was 4:1, right? So this is 2 years ago, and 8 years hence, Vinod's age will exceed Indu's age by 12 years. So we have to find out the present age. Now friends, it is very simple. See, at any stage of time, the exact difference between the ages will remain same, right? Now here the ratio is 4:1, and the difference is 3 part, and this difference is actually 12 years. That means 3 part is actually 12 years. That means 1 part is 4 years, right? So 4 part will be 16 years and 1 part is 4 years. So that is the age of Vinod as well as Indu 2 years ago, right? So the present ages will be I'll add 2, 18 and 6. So what is the ratio? 3:1, as simple as that. Getting my point? The difference between the absolute difference between the ages is nothing to do with number of years, right? It will be same once for all. Okay? I hope you are getting my point. Now, the ages of A and B are in the ratio 3:5. And after 9 years, the ratio of their ages will be 3:4. This is the gap of 9 years, right? What is the present age of B? See, here the difference between A and B is 2 part, here it is 1 part. So if we wish to make the direct comparison, we have to make this difference as 2. So how could we make that difference as 2? As I've already discussed in the basic session. Now the difference is 1. Multiply both of them by 2. So that's 6 and that's 8. Now the ratio is maintained, but the difference between these two terms is 2, right? Now what is happening? Now here this is present age and this is the age after 9 years. That means this gap is actually 9 years. This is 3 part, this is 6 parts. According to us, it is 3 part only. That means 3 part is equal to 9, right? And what is the present age? 3 part, that means 9 years. So what is the present age of A? 9 years. If 3 part is 9, 1 part is 3, that means age of B is 5 part, that is 15. As simple as that, right? So you don't have to make any equation in the case of problem based on ages, right? Simply by comparing the ratio, you can solve the problems easily. But you have to be careful while you compare the ratio, their mutual difference should be same. As it was 3/5, here it was 3:4. I made it 6:8 by doubling that. I maintained the ratio, but I got the difference as 2. Okay, so that was a strategy to solve this problem. Okay, I hope you are clear, and without making any sort of equation, we have solved this problem. Now similarly, take up this A and A's mother. Okay. Now A's mother was 4 times as old as A 10 years ago. So what is the scene 10 years ago? This is A and his mother is 4 times. And after 10 years she'll be twice. Right? So this ratio is 1:2. Again we have to make the comparison. So what will we do? Here the difference is 3, here the difference is 1. So we'll make this difference as 3. And how do we make that? Multiply both the terms by 3. So the ratio will also be maintained and the difference will also be 3. So that's 3 and 6. Right? Now this is the present age and this is the age after 10 years. I'm sorry, this is the age 10 years ago and this is the age after 10 years, right? So basically the difference is 20 years between these two, and according to us the difference is 2 part, right? So 2 part is actually 20, that means 1 part is 10, right? So A's age after before 10 years or 10 years ago was 1 part, that is 10, right? So present age will be what? 10 plus 10, 20, right? As simple as that. Further, no need of making any sort of equations. So if you are asked about A's present age, it's 20. If you are asked about A's age after 10 years, it will be 30, right? So 10, 20, 30, as simple as that. Okay. Now see this. The ratio of father's age to son's age is 4:1. The product of their ages is 196. The ratio of their ages after 5 years. That is pretty simple problem. See here. Assume that their ages is 4x and x, right? So that's actually 4x square is 196. That is their product. So x square is actually 49. That means x is 7. That means their present ages are 4 into 7, 28, and 7. The product and the ratio after 5 years is what? Add 5, 33 and 12. So that's 3, 11, 3, 4. That's 11:4. Okay. Now friends, let's see this problem. On selling 33 meter of cloth, a person gained an amount equivalent to selling price of 11 meter of cloth. What is the profit in this deal? Once again, a simple problem. We assume that the selling price per meter of cloth is 1 rupee, right? That means he's selling 33 meter cloth. This is the selling price, 33 rupees, right? Minus profit. Profit is 11 rupees because selling price of 11 rupees he is gaining, 11 meter he is gaining. That means 11 rupees is the profit. So this is actually cost price, right? Now we have to find out the profit percent. So to find out the profit percent, what you do? Selling price by cost price. So that's 3/2. That means 150%. That means selling price is 150% of cost price. That means 50% profit is there. Okay, as simple as that. Now, there are two consecutive discounts of 35% and 10% on a sari. If a person paid rupees 1170 for that, then what was the original price? I assume the original price is X. After first discount 35%, the price becomes 0.65 of this, right? After second discount 10%, the price becomes 90% of this, right? And finally the price is 1170, right? Now remove the decimals, put 13 5s are 13 9s are 0, 2000, as simple as that. Okay. Now, this problem. A dishonest dealer claims to sell his goods at cost price, but he uses a weight of 960 gram for the kilogram weight. His gain percent is, I assume the price per gram is 1 rupee. So for 960 gram, the cost price will be 960 rupees, right? But he's earning a profit of 40 gram because he's telling this 960 gram as 1 kilogram. So he's earning the profit of 50 gram. 40 gram, right? So profit over cost price into 100 is what? Profit percent. So it's a bit more than 4%. So that's 4 by 6%. For these sort of problems, when there is dishonesty in selling and buying goods, if you wish, I can give you a formula. Just note it down. Difference in weight or length or whatever by false weight into 100, right? So this formula will always work, whether it is difference in weight or maybe length or whatever the problems based on cheating are there, this formula will work, right? Directly you can use this formula. Conceptually I have explained over here, and if you wish to use the formula directly, you can use, right? Instead of 960 gram for a kilogram weight, maybe the other things are also possible. Suppose his while buying he is cheating for 20% or maybe 40 gram, while selling also he is making a cheating of say 40 gram, then also this formula will work. The only thing you need to keep in mind is difference in weight by false weight into 100, right? In this case I use this formula. Difference in weight is what? For a kilogram, and this 960, so difference is 40. What is the false weight? He is using a weight of 960. This is false weight into 100. Same you will get over here, right? So 4 by 6% will be your answer. Now let's try this one. Raghu bought 10 kilogram of sugar at the rate of 14 rupees per kg, 15 kilogram of sugar at the rate of 16 per kg. He mixed the two varieties and sold the mixture at the rate of rupees 18 per kg. So what we have to do first, we have to find out the cost price of the mixture. So by the method of alligation, we can do it very quickly. So this is actually 16 minus x, because x will lie somewhere in between 14 and 16, right? So this is 16 minus x, and in over here it will be x minus 14. Now the ratio will be what? 14, this price is 14 and the quantity is 10 kilogram. Here the price is 16 and quantity is 15 kilogram. So 10 kilogram, 15 kilogram, ratio is 2:3, right? So ratio is 2:3. Okay, so 48 minus 3x is equal to 2x minus 28. So 48 plus 28 is, x is 76 by 5, or we can say the cost price is 15.2. That is mean cost price is 15.2, right? Now what is the per kilogram profit? 18 rupees per kilogram is the selling price, 15.2 is the cost price. So precisely 2.8 rupees per kilogram is the profit. Total quantity is 25 kilogram. So this way you can solve it very easily. So that's 70 rupees. Okay. Apart from that, what you can do, 10 kilogram quantity, this cost price is 14 and selling price is 18, right? So 4 rupees per kilo is the profit, right? Alternatively, I'm telling you the method. So 4 rupees per kilo and 10 kilo is the profit. So 40 rupees is the profit over here. And in this case, 15 kilogram sugar, and this profit is 2 rupees, 16 and 18. So 2 rupees for 15 kilogram, 30 rupees. So that 70 rupees is the overall profit, right? If you don't want to use this method, you can use the alternative method also. That's very, very simple. Okay. Now, Ravi buys a radio 3/4 of its value and sells it for 20% more than its value. What will be the profit percent? Just now I have discussed the formula for that particular problem based on cheating and dishonest professions and all that. The same logic can be applied over here. Since if the buying is below the cost price, the market price or the marked price, and selling is above that, right? So the same formula can be used very well. And I have told you in the numerator you have to write down this difference in weight. Now here 3/4 is what? 75%, and 20% more, that means 120%. So what is difference? 120 and 75. 45 is the difference. By false weight, that is the buying price, that is 3/4, that means 75 rupees into 100. Okay. So 25 3s are 4s are. So that's 60% is the profit. Okay. So difference in weight by false weight into 100. False weight over here will be what? The cost price of this radio, right? That is actually 75% of the mark price. Okay. Alternatively, what you can do, suppose X is the mark price. Now Ravi, buying price of Ravi is what? 3/4 of X. So that is the cost price of Ravi, right? What will be the selling price? Selling price is 20% more than its value. That means 120% of X. 120% of X means 6/5 of X, right? So this will give you the selling price and cost price ratio. So that's 8/5. So it's 1 plus 3/5. 3/5 is what? 60%. Okay, the same we are getting over here. So this way also you can go, and this way also you can go, right? And I would suggest you to have a grip on all the methods, right, as far as possible, because whenever, wherever, whatever the method is useful, you can easily apply that, right? Whatever the method comes up first in your mind, that can be applied very easily, quickly. Okay. Now, a man buys an article and sells it at a profit of 20%. That means SP by CP ratio is what? 120%. That means SP is 120% of CP, or we can say 6/5, right? If he had bought at 20% less, that means the new CP is what? 0.8, okay, of the original CP, and sold it for rupees 75 less. SP minus 75, then he would have gained 25%. That means what? 25% profit, that means 125%. So that's 5/4, right? Now we have to find out the cost price. Now what I do, we know SP-CP ratio. I put SP as 6x and CP as 5x. So it is 6x minus 75 into 4 is equal to 5 into 0.8, that means 4, and CP is actually 5x, right? So 24x minus 300 is equal to 20x, right? So 4x is 300, that means x is what? 75. But what we want? 5x, because CP is 5x. So 5 into 75 will be our answer. So that's 375. Okay. So that's the cost price of this article. I hope you are getting it. Now let's say this problem. Arun purchased a bag with 25% discount on the labeled price. At what percent profit on the price he bought should he sell to make 20% profit on the labeled price? Again, simples. That's suppose mark price is 100. Then his cost price is what? 75. Now he wished to make he sell to make 20% profit on the labeled price. That means selling price is actually 120, right? So exactly we have to find out the profit. So cost price, and this is selling price. So selling price divided by cost price, you'll be getting SP-CP ratio. So 8/5, that is 1 plus 3/5. That means 60% is the profit. Okay. So this 60% profit is on cost price, and this is equivalent to 20% profit on the labeled price. So you might have observed how easily we have solved this problem, right? Mark price assume 100, CP must be 75 because 25% discount he is getting, and he is making 20% profit on the labeled price, that is mark price. So that's 120. Now find out SP-CP ratio and game is over. So that's 60%. Okay. Now, a tradesman prices are 20% above cost price. He allows his customer some discount on his bill and makes a profit of 8%. Okay. So I assume cost price is 100, then that must be 120. Then he's allowing some discount and he's making a profit of 8%. That means selling price is 108, right? Now from 120, 108, that means 12 rupees is a discount over 120, that means it is 10%. As simple as that. So friends, in the next session, I'll be taking more doubts. You can send me the doubts at alka@learnersplanet.com. right? So see you in the next session once again. Bye bye.